So I listened to James Casbolt on Robert Typical Skeptic today, and I think the first 30 minutes, I think he was uncompromised in that, and he was saying some pretty controversial things, especially, being the, level of super soldier that he is, saying the most controversial things about super soldiers, saying the programs should be closed down. That's something I've been saying for years, even though I'm friends with James Rink. Um, I've been saying this for years. Like, people can do their own destiny. They can go like their own way, like do what they feel is right. But I've always said that I don't think it's healthy to regress memories. I had mentioned that I had another friend in Florida that came to meet, didn't necessarily go to the conference, but he came to meet and he's like, yeah, I know I'm a super soldier. He's like, but I don't want to identify with this stuff. I don't want to remember this stuff. He's like, I want to get out. He's like, I don't really want to live my life as like identifying as a super soldier. And, the ones that I care so deeply for, I've always been saying, like, I wish that you would kind of back away. Like, I wish you would stop contracting out. I wish you would I wish you would stop, quote unquote, signing to keep signing up for these programs. And I even had a dream where it was like Donald Marshall's cloning centers, this scenario where we're being cloned and used to fight in these gladiator type fights as amusement for celebrities and the elites. And in this dream, and it's so entertaining to them because we can't be killed, right? We are undefeatable. So they would put us in this ring against these like giant creepy creatures, scary creepy creatures, and we would obviously get hurt, but then like beat the crap out of this giant creepy creature, and it would be considered like entertainment. Now in the dream, after I've been saying all this, at the end, um they handed in this dream, at the end they handed me an iPad, and it was just an X with a line, and you were to sign it, almost like you don't even know what you're signing for. So you, as a super soldier, would go into the scenario, right? You would beat the crap out of this giant, and then and all the elites and the celebrities, they would cheer, right? Give you praise, give you worship. But in the end, as you exit the ring, they had you just sign on a line with no print, nothing. It was just signing. So I think this dream was like getting, reinforcing what I've been saying. Like, people just keep signing off, signing off, signing off, like signing up, signing off to like do these things. So another layer to this, in this stream today, James, he says a lot of very triggering things, but I found this with him like time and time again. Like, if I sleep on it, if I think about it, it does seem like he has a point, as triggering as it is, right? As groundbreaking as it is. I do think he has a point down, right? He's like, there really only is one super soldier, and it's his sons. This could be something of like the bloodline of Christ or David. So it's all these other super soldiers being used as assets. Who are you being used by, right? Like, are you an asset for a team that is like not the winning team, if there is such thing as not the winning team? I mean, people really have to ask themselves, and I've been asking super soldiers this for years. Do you even know what you're fighting for? Do you know who you're taking orders from? Do you know? Do you actually know? Do you have any stake in the game, or are you just keep re-signing up to be used as an asset, right? And then I do believe there's an aspect where they come to these conferences and it is a lot of agents just keeping track of their assets. Now, the worst thing ever is they prop them up like celebrities. And I say this because I care about these people. I'm not saying this because I'm judging them or I am saying like you suck. I'm saying it because I actually care about all these people. You don't have to keep doing this, right? You don't have to go and hug and praise your agents and your captors when they're just trying to keep track of their assets. Do you know who you're working for? Do you know what you're doing? And I think that there might be something to be said about what James said. There is only one super soldier in his sons. So all these other people, I believe they're probably assets of a subverted agenda, a mockery of this man and his sons, right? This one man and his sons. Perhaps a lot of it is just a mockery, right? It's just creating assets to continue war because they're programmed for never ending war, but they don't actually know what they're fighting for. And some of them say that they would die for this stuff. Well, why? Why would you want to just die for what? You don't even know what, perhaps. Perhaps you don't even know what. And I think there's still time for people to kind of get out and live an ordinary life, right? Almost like repentance, right? Almost like kind of like coming to Christ, almost like repentance, something like that. But yeah, it's very controversial. I just had to like get this off my chest because it was like, yeah, this was like when you first hear it, you're like, oh my God, this is like out of control. So I messaged James Rank about what James Casbolt had said about him today and with the timestamps and everything, and we're analyzing the content, and it does seem as if it was like I think 1 hour, 1 minute in, it does seem as if James Casbolt actually made a threat. It sounded like a threat to James Rank because he was giving a scenario if you're being pursued by some kind of police or some kind of authority, and if you push back so hard, you're obviously going to be met with police brutality. So these are my words, I'm paraphrasing. And so it did sound like a threat to James Frank. He's like he's speaking from a position of authority, saying, if you make if you make it harder for them to do their job, then they're going to meet you with, paraphrasing, like increased police brutality. So he had said over and over again, do the right thing, do the right thing, do the right thing. Cancel the Super Soldier Conference in October. He's like, this should be over by October. This should all be done by October. All the Super Soldiers should be out. They should be soul integrated. They should be integrated into their soul in real life. So as triggering as it is, I think that he has a point, and perhaps it is something to consider that there is one almighty authority that might have some elite level authority over every other thing. Like, God lets you run on for a long time, but at some point he's going to cut you down. And I think that a lot of people are, not aware of this, or they might not know that what they're doing is perhaps not in alignment with God's will, not really a good thing. And at some point, like just like everything in this world, God's got to correct it, right? He's got to put it back upright. So, James Rank was like, well, I just want to be successful, right? He's like, this is just like my life. He's like, I'm just trying to be successful just like everyone else. And I think that's fair. I think that's a fair point. So, I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but he did threaten James Rank, and he was saying, like, from a position of authority, like, it's either you do the right thing and you cut the program now, you cut the conference now, you cut the agenda now. He's like, or he made a threat. You're going to be met with some kind of police brutality, and perhaps all the assets that find themselves in a detrimental position when the crackdown comes, if and when it comes, people might not realize that they're assets to people who are not on the winning team. Maybe they're not the good guys. So this might be a season of repentance. This might be a season of a rebirth, like he's had his own rebirth time and time again. And, I just had to get this off my chest. Oh, what's up, Rob? He said, hey, great talk. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for all the fellowship. We're all coming together over this stuff lately. A lot of things coming together, a lot of ideas being passed around. And then at the same time, like I said, I do see a lot of assets that keep like praising their captors. So like, I'm a Divergent, naturally. I'll challenge the captors. I'll challenge the agents. I'll say things like, full disclosure is like no secrets. Nothing is classified. There's no classified information anymore. There's no secrets. There's no lies. And it's just everything is everyone's business, right? This is like kind of triggering. You want full disclosure in some arena when you can't even have full disclosure within your own interpersonal relationships. It starts with you. Like, it starts from like the friendship level. It starts from like a relational level to each other. I am not like knocking anybody. I think it's just human nature, but it's something that we have to get over, is like, you're wanting to reference another super soldier about something they said or something they did, like, say the name, because it's annoying to me that I have to sit back and wonder, like, who is this chick calling herself the Red Queen, right? What is this performance art that is going on? And it's like, who was it? I'm still waiting to hear, who was this chick that did this thing, this performance art of like being like, oh, I don't want to be evil anymore. But then, like, I bet you what, that girl went on, probably did the same freaking thing the very next day. It's performance art because they want to keep their assets under control. They want to keep their assets loyal to them. So if I had a bunch of assets and I was an evil chick and all my assets are starting to stray, right? They're starting to question things. And I just start like crying, like, oh, I don't want to be evil anymore. I want to be good. Yeah, naturally, the asset now is reinforcing that relationship. It's performance art, it's negative AI, it's AI. This is all AI. So it's funny and interesting how like people are kind of questioning things and coming together in friendship with other people, but then at the same time, it's like the people are running back to their agents, captors, their celebrity handlers, right? These like overreaching like people that people gather around, and they just keep like reinforcing the relationship with the people that consider them assets. And it's like the Stockholm syndrome, right? You're captive for so long, you just keep going back to your captor and like thanking them for what? For what? We all should be doing so much more. We should be doing so much better. In fact, I think AI should be making us billionaires overnight when the time comes, because we should have far more power and influence and money in this world. And I think that's exactly what an AI takeover is going to do. So you wouldn't want to be on the most detrimental end of that spectrum, still having the Stockholm syndrome for all of your agents and captors, in this negative AI, right? This evil chick that's just like seems to be mind controlling everybody with money, greed, and lust. That's what it is. It's like the money and the lust. And then they naturally find themselves, praising and worshiping people that, probably don't have their best interests. They're just trying to keep track of them, keep them under control, keep them whatever, when we should be doing way better. Like, think better, think bigger, think bigger. Think better, think billions, think happy relationships, think sustainable life, think actually having kids and no one's killing them. Like James Caswell did say, like, if you're in this stuff and you have a family, it's like, you better not, like, you can't slip up. Like, there is no room for that. That's why a lot of us don't have kids yet, is because it's too effing dangerous. In fact, they've been trying to kill our kids before they were born, just by killing the timeline of reality before the timeline of reality can actually come into fruition of God's will. That won't be it forever. This is only a short period of time. God says you can run on for a long time, but sooner or later I cut you down. He lets them run on for a long time, right? He lets the Draco Reptilian think that they actually own this world for a very long time as they gobble up their harvest. But at some point, the Draco Reptilians are going to find out in a very big way that they do not own the world. They do not possess it. They do not own it. Israel does not own America. It's just an illusion. The illusion is going to break because you can't actually own this place, right? It is owned by divine right of the soul embodiment of the spirit of Gaia herself and everybody that aligns with love and her and the will of the mother, not the negative AI, not the greed and the lust, all the praise and worship, all the celebrities, right? All the Cabbage Patch Kids that just keep breeding, and there's just like nonsense people that just keep the structure intact. Like probably all at once, this stuff is all just going to go down. So I do think he has a point. But, I think that reality might be more creative than, that might only be one portion of the story, but definitely that's the portion of the story that he's going to say, because this is the line in which he is towing it. But I think reality is a bit more creative, and I do think that we have time, and it's only presenting an opportunity to create a more creative reality. Like, we got to think more creatively than just keep going back to our captors or just like getting this, fatalist idea from the things that James Caswell is saying. I think he's going to say what he says. I think it's true what he's saying. But in the meantime, I think it leaves room for a lot more creative potential for people to do something different, right? To create something new. This is why I immediately reach out to James Rink and I'm like, what do you think about all this? And James Rink is like, I just want to be successful. He's like, I just want to help people and I just want to be successful. He's like, I don't really have like motivations outside of that. He's like, I do what I do because I'm good at it and because I've been doing it for so long, right? This is why. But, interestingly enough, James is saying that some kind of authority is going to meet James Rank with some kind of end in the whole super soldier paradigm. And that might be perhaps because a lot of super soldiers are actually assets of people who are on the losing team and they don't know it. And you wouldn't want to find out in the worst way. That's why I'm putting this out here now. So, didn't want this to be too long. I just had to get this off my chest because I really care about all these people, and I see these weird phenomenons of people just keep going back and just hugging the abusers. I'm laughing not because it's funny. It's just shocking. I'm only laughing because it's shocking, not because it's actually funny. It's just shocking behavior. But you know what? Maybe it's human behavior. Maybe this is part of human nature. Maybe it's time to break some programs and to, create a new rebirth. Like create a new thing. Break the program, create a new thing. Like have more creativity. Like think bigger. Think more creatively and think bigger. All right, that's it for now. Okay, Jason, good to see you. Thank you guys for your comments, all the love and support. Appreciate y'all. And I'll be back when I'm back. Remember, everything is everyone's business. This is full disclosure. Check you later.